user security, and today we'll be completing user security. Why I'm taking this much is like it's very important for site administration. These are one of the key things, where developer and both administrator to should take care of these things, right? And today we'll check on some more permission levels, which is again very important. So yesterday till yesterday, some echo is going on. I think someone's mic is still switched on. But anyways, let me just remove this. Okay, fine. So I just removed my headset. If you have anything, just ping me, guys, so that I can able to. Right. So here, so we'll be checking out something. Yesterday we were talking about something like if you have more than one user, right? We were talking about something like if you have guest one here, what we did, we just try to add guest one again in something called manager, right? And we tried this up yesterday, and what we have seen is uh, I asked you to always keep in mind whether the guy is there in some other thing, some other roles or not, some other access level groups or not, right? But as we have limited number of persons or users here, that's why you can just go to any of the permission levels, right? You can go to any site permissions, right? And you can go to any group here, and you can check, because there are so limited people. Let us say you have so many guys, let you won't be having one or two, right? You will be having some at least more than 50, or more than that. If your web page, if your site is no, it's across org, you will get more than at least you will be getting some 4 digit number of users, right? So at that time, how can you just go and check each and every person? Is it possible, right? It will be like you will not be able to do that, right? So even for that, you have a feature in SharePoint. Don't have to worry about that. If you are using someone as if you are trying to give someone's permission to something, you can check that first. How to check is this way. Go to site collection anyways, right? Go to site actions. We have something called site permissions. Go to this. So here you can see something called check permissions. There is a button. Click on this and see, here is our window where, let me give someone called guest 2, and let me just select guest 2 and check now. So can you see? So guest 2 is under contribute and managers. So let me take guest 1. I hope guest 1 we have mentioned it in both manager and guest 1, and check now. Yeah, can you see here? Guest 1 is a user. Yesterday we said he is a team, so we added guest 1 under managers and HR group system. So that's why it is giving guest 1 have got permission levels under contribute, which is under managers group, and full control under HR group. If you want, you can also go and check which is managers and HR group. Close this up, go to managers, right? You can see guest 1, right? Go to HR group, right? You can see guest 1. Now as there are two different groups where you can find same user, let us say I don't want my guest 1 is under manager, so go there and click on actions and remove. Okay, fine. So now it is removed from here. Now guest 1 is there only at HR group, right? Now let's go and check whether it is been updated or not. Go to site permissions. So let me check whether it is recording or not. Yeah, it's recording. Check permissions here, right? And here give us guest 1, right? And check now. Now you can see is only under 1 group. So these are how you can check the user, so you don't have to worry. So yesterday's statement was actually a correct statement, and so this is a justification for that, right? How to check if a user is there or not. And bet me guys, you will be using this screen very often. You can be a developer or anyone, you will be using this screen very often, because each and every manager or lead, or it can be CEO, everyone will be coming up to you and will be asking, I want all the permission levels for some user, and this is a screen which you have to use. So how to go again? Site actions, site permissions, right? And under site permissions, don't have to select anything, just go and click on check permissions. So this will give any user like admin 2, right? Check now, we'll get all the, so see admin 2 have got no permissions, it will just say none. Yeah, we don't have any admin 2. And give some Sam, check now. So he has got one, which is contributor under managers, right? You can just go to managers and see whether he is there or not. So he'll be there, and you are sure that he is a confirmed user under managers. You can just buzz your the person whoever requested you to get all the permission levels for Sam, and you can give information, right? So this is how we have an access to something called users. You can see, and only admin, as you are admin of your system, you can see all the users and their access levels, right? So this is how you monitor. Now, so let us see one more thing here, which is you will be wondering when we actually went to something called site settings and permission and groups, like, so till yesterday, again let me go back to this site permissions, right? So now till now what we have seen is we have seen something called here again user level permissions, group level permissions, right? In both user level and group level, if you have noticed something like I said contribute, full control, read, and we have used something called permission levels. Now you may be wondering that are they configurable or not, or are these only 3 permission levels which I can use, right? Is that the one or not? So again, your permission levels in SharePoint is again, and you can play with this, right? Which means you can add permission levels, you can delete permission levels, you can do everything. Now here you can see here, so your full control is nothing but a permission level, and your under full control you have something called he is a owner. In the same way you have read is nothing but a permission level, and using read you have created some group here, right? Permission level, group, and under group you have something called users. Now so what we will be checking out now is permission levels. So what are the different permission levels here, but you don't have to remember what are the different permission levels, because you can also create your own permission levels. Now how to check? Now if you want to see what are the what are complete set of permission levels being defined in your SharePoint site collection, you have some option here called site permission levels, right? Click on that, permission levels. Now you can see all type of permission levels. Anyways, your full control and limited access will be disabled because they are default ones, right? And you can edit any of these. Now today we will be checking on this one, and we will be checking on 2 very important topics, which is one, how to create a permission level, and we'll be using them, right? And how to create, we'll check on the second topic later. Now let us create one permission level. How to create one permission level is just here you have something called add permission level. Let me create this, click on this. So either you have 2 options, either you can create permission level. Can you see here you have got all the different things, like you can manage list, override list, add items, right? Whatever you select, he can do that. So this is how you actually add a permission levels. So let me cancel this and show you the existing one. Let's go to contribute now. So under contribute we have seen that he can only do a few things, like he can only see here, he can only add items, he cannot manage list. What is manage list? It's a creating or deleting list. We have seen that whenever you add any user under contribute, he can only add item to the existing list or existing document library. He can edit, delete, view, and all, right? And he'll be not be able to do something like adding complete list. So these are the different permissions which you have got, and so they have defined something called contribute. So let us say I want to use the same contribute permissions, but I want to delete something called delete items. I mean delete the permission level called delete items, right? Which means I want to use contribute all whatever contributor can do, I want to use everything, but I don't want to give something called delete permission for my users, right? How to do that again? Now let's go back and just say cancel here. You can create permission levels in 2 ways. One is you can go and click on add permission levels, and whatever you want you can select, or if you want to use the same, if you want to use the same and delete some of the permissions, click on this, which means I'm not modifying this, I'm trying to add this. Here let us say keep everything, and after selecting that just go down and say copy permission level. When you click on copy permission level, which means it will copy to the new permission level you want, and you can give your own name and all. Let me say here it's something like contributor, contribute, no delete. Let me just give some name here, right? And description is this is a permission level where deletion of data is not permitted, right? Just some description. Now so what I'll do, I'll go to list permissions here, and I'll just remove this delete items and delete versions, so he will not be able to do that. And let me go down and say create. So now you can see here, right, one more thing which is nothing but contribute and no delete, right? So this is again you have created something called permission level. Now let's go back and see whether this level you can see it or not. Let's go back to site permissions, right? Let's go back to something called, so we'll just see managers, right? So under managers, let us go back to site settings again, people and groups, right? And let us say I want to site permissions, right? I'll select something called managers, and I'll say edit user permissions, right? And let us see here, can you see here one more permission level got added, which is nothing but contribute but no delete, right? So this one got added here, fine. So now we'll do one thing, we'll just try to give the manager for till now he was contributor, right? So let us keep the contribute as it is, and let me just click on OK, and we'll see what happens when you have contribute and when we have contribute no delete, right? Now click on OK. So under managers we have someone called guest2 and Sam. Let's keep only one user here, which is, let me just delete guest2 here. So we have only one user, which is Sam, and let us see what Sam can do. Now I want to check where else I don't want Sam in any other group, so let me go and check whether Sam is in some other group. If he is there, we'll remove them, right? And I'll say Sam, click on check now, right? Okay, fine. So Sam is under managers, which is contribute. Now close up, and let me just go to the same site here, which is, let me go to property collection, right? Okay, so I'm gonna check this up now. Okay, and after checking this, what we'll do, during when Sam is logged in, we'll try to change the permissions for this manager, which is, we'll go to edit permission, right? We'll go to edit permission, and we'll just say from, okay, we got this. Let me give Sam and Sam here, login, right? Now let me go to info institute once. We can go anywhere, right? Because we are providing role for the whole collection site here, right? So we will be unchecking this and checking this once we are done with this, right? Let us check what he can do now. And let's go back here. Now let's go to something called courses. Now a manager is nothing but a contributor, right? Which means he can actually go and edit item, delete item, right? And do some stuff here, right? If you go to list, you can also see something in here, right? Which is, let me go and select something here, select here, right? And you can see items, you can see delete item here. You can delete from anywhere, right? It's the same thing. Now which means manager is a contributor, that's why he was able to do this. Now so let us keep this site logged in, and let's go back to our admin site and let us change the permissions for this guy. So let us change the permission using our own permission level, which is contribute. Anyways, read, contribute, design and full are some permission level which are default permission levels being provided in SharePoint. But I said you can also create a permission level. We created something called contribute node. Let's select this and check click OK. Right. So now our manager is, you can see here, it's contribute no delete. Now if you want to check, cross check your user, click on check permission, click on Sam, click check. Now you can see here he is under managers and manager group is nothing but contribute no delete, which means he should not be able to do delete. Now let's go back here again and go to batches again, some list. Now click on this, see, you will not have a delete item. Let's go back to courses again, because we have seen something in courses, right? So we'll check the same again in courses. Now click here, see, again let me click on this and see, it will be disabled, right? Which means he'll never be able to do something called delete item or delete. We just deleted something called version, right? Let's go back to document clip again, right, and select this item here, right? You won't get something called checkout, no delete, no version history, nothing. So even if you click here, you won't be getting anything for deleting. So that's why we created our own permission levels and our own groups and our own user permissions. So that is what the hierarchy is. So we started with users and we have seen something called different permission levels, and we created some yeah, any doubt in here? So whatever permission you give, only exactly. So whatever permission you give to your own permission level, and if you are using this permission level for certain groups, they can access only them. That's it, nothing more than that, right? So if you want to edit your existing group, which is you created something called contribute no delete, right? You can just select on this, click on this, and you can always change whatever you want. You can even you can even make them read. How to make them read? Delete everything, delete each and everything, right? Just keep something called view version, view items and all, which means you are making again your own read only permission level. So that is nothing but your permission levels, right? Where we have created permission levels. So for using the same permission level, you can also create a user and give permission for contribute no delete, right? So this is how we create permission levels. And so now I hope you are clear in even permission levels, because these are something which are also in your control. You can create your own permission levels, you can create your own groups on these permission levels, you can create your own user level permissions using these groups and permissions, fine. So that is nothing but your permission levels we have in in our side. So this is how it happens. So whenever you just give something, he'll be able to do that. And again, let us say, let me just as we said, let me make this. So now what we have done is we just went to something called site permissions, right, managers, and what we did is we changed manager permission level from something called contribute to contribute no delete. Now so when we change this level, so what happened, he completely was not able to delete. Now let's go back and change. Now Sam is again logged in. Let's go back and change the permission level editing. Now I want contribute no delete, even not even edit something. So now again we'll go back to permission levels, click on contribute no delete, which means I'm making contribute no delete completely as a read only. He should not be able to add, edit, right? He should be able to only view and open something, create something, view something, that's it. And view, and this is something site permission, fine, and personal permissions, okay, fine. Let's see what happens. Let's submit this. Now we made this guy only to like completely, not like completely as something like read only, right? So let's go back and see what Sam can do now. Go to courses now. Now let me just see here. He can only view something. He'll be not be able to do anything here. No edit, nothing. right? It all depends. If you want to give him edit, just go and let me go here, let me just say only edit. So under list permissions, let us say he can edit something. So here you can see that he even not able to edit something, right? Let me go and say something like edit permission here. Now let's go back and batches, or let's go back to courses again and just see he'll be able to edit something. So that's how that's how your edit item, right? So that's how your SharePoint is so tightly coupled that once you change something, and immediately if user want to do something, and if you don't have access, he'll never be able to do that. In the same way, if user is allowed to do that, if you are allowing him to edit something, he can do that, right? So again, here what we have seen today is your permission level is again tightly coupled with your group, and your group is again tightly coupled with your users, right? So these are the hierarchy levels which we have in SharePoint, and how differently they work in SharePoint, right? So you can see now like how in depth of user security is being provided in SharePoint, and you have to be sure here whatever you are doing, right? So now if you have seen, if you understood something like till here, we'll be moving on with one important thing. As of now, what we have seen is, we have seen something called corp IT collection, right? Which means we gave permission to users to the whole site, but sometimes it may be not, it may not be the case, right? Which means it may not be the case that corp IT collection is a collection of different sites, and different sites should be maintained by different group of people, like info institute, let us say HR site. So HR site, I don't want it to give to accounts, right? Because these are two different entities, right? And this is different entity. But what we did is, we created all these sites with something called parent permissions. Now let us see how to create a site which is exclusively, we want to use our own permissions, not anything. So that is how actually we create. Now let's see how to do that. Let's go to corp IT collection. Here we'll be creating one more site, which is where we'll be taking up something called exclusive or unique permissions, and we'll see what happens, right? Let's go back to site actions and just say new site again, right? And let me take some blank site, we'll create some collections, right? Let me say here something like we'll say some, okay, under corp IT. So we have seen something called accounts, okay, something called, okay, let me call it as something like sorry, like what do you call it as, sales IT, right? So sales team, I can just say sales site, or just say sales, I'll just say sales, right? So let us create a blank site here, right? Oops, one sec, I just missed one thing here. You can see it is being created here. Is it created here? Let's go to corp IT collection. Okay, it is not created. So go to, we'll just say new site, right? Under blank site we'll create something called sales. So sales. Now you have to go to more options. So we have seen some more options here, right? I just said, I hope you guys remember this. I said I'll be explaining these permissions when we come to user security, right? So this is one thing which is very important. Here it says use same permissions as parent site, which means till now whatever site we have created with the option called use the same permission as parent. That's why if you are giving access to corp IT collection, everyone used to get. But now what we'll do is, we want something called use unique permissions. I don't want to use the parent permissions, right? Which means the separate permission levels will be created for this site itself, right? And now let us see, let me just say quick display, yes, right? Link, yes, I want it even in the link bar. Now let me create it. Okay, it already exists it seems. Okay, now let me just sales IT. Let us give something called sales IT. Okay, and unique permissions and something yes and create. Not a problem. Now here. So once we create sales IT, you can see here that next to the site creation. So in previous classes we have seen that whenever you create a blank site and say okay, it used to give, it used to go directly to something called page. But here, as we have opted for something called, we want our own unique permissions, so that's why it came to some permissions page, right? So now here it is saying whether you want a new group or existing. We don't want existing, let me create new group, right? Which is, here you can see sales IT visitors, sales IT members and owners. So let us remove. So we have already seen this, if you remember, whenever you create any site or something or site correction, default permissions will be created, which is visitors, members and owners, right? So let us create only owner and let me delete all the users from members, which is visitors are empty, members are empty, and in the same way there is only one owner, which is admin. Let me click on OK. Now you can see here sales IT, we have, it's a blank page anyways. Let's go back to site actions and see what are the different permissions we have. Can you see here, it is sales IT members, sales IT owners, sales IT visitors. In the same way, let me just go back and show you something else, guys. Now we were under sales IT, right? Let me go to some other, which is info or something, info institute, and let me go to site actions and permissions. Can you see here, it is again inheriting our parent access levels. Again go back to some other site, again click on this corporate collection, go back to some, let's say info institute, right, and see what happens here. Again, okay, sorry, we have seen this one, right? Let's go back to corporate collection and HR site. Let's go to HR site and see here site permissions. You can see the same, right? Which means, let me go back here, corporate collection. Now sales IT. So under sales IT, if you go here, if you go and click on site permissions, you can see only these levels, nothing much. If you go to sales IT members, again see separate groups will be created for your sales IT separately. Site owners, only one guy is there, which is admin here. Sales visitors, who is your no one is there. Now let us go back and check this. So under corp IT collection, right, we have created some users, right, which is, let me take again under managers, right, we have created someone called Sam, right, and he is here now. Anyways, let's open this up again. Let me close this and open a new instance again, and we'll log into the site with using Sam, and let me show you what actually happens. So now here we have created something called sales IT, and let us see what happens when you actually go back and see in his role. Right. So here let me just go on check with corp IT collection. for this Sam and Sam. Check. So now can you see this tab sales IT? No, right? Because sales IT is an exclusive site which is in collection and no one can access that, right? So even if a Sam, even if we go and take someone called owner here, corp IT collection owners, who are the owners? We have created admin1 as a owner, right? Let us go and check whether admin can access this. Let us check once. Sign in as a different user, admin1 and admin1 login. See, he can see that because he is a complete owner, which means corp IT collection owner, he is a complete owner, right? So that's why he is able to see that tab. Now you can understand the difference, right? Now let me go back to HR group or team. Let me go back to team again and see what happens. Admin1 is there, or person1. Let me take person1 here. Let me go and sign in as someone called person1 and person1. Right? See, he will never be able to see this because he is not the guy who can actually access your site. So that is how it happens. Now who can access this? Now let me show you something here. Let us use person1, or let's go back and see which user is empty. Let me check permissions for person1 and let us, or person2. Let me check whether this person is, now person don't have any of the permission, right? Can you see here? Person don't have any of the access here. Now let us use this person and give permission to our site, which is site IT collection. Let's go to site sales IT. Let's go back to site actions, right, and site permissions. Let me give him as a site visitor. Right here again the same story starts. Again you have to go to the page and give his name, which is person2, right? Okay, now here what we have done is we have given the person to access sales IT. Now let's go back and try to, so now let's go back and see what happens when I go and open this site collection, right? Now I want to use sign as a different. Now person2, can you notice this? He will not be able to do that. Why? So what we are trying to do is we are trying to access the whole site collection using this guy, but we'll never be able to do that. Even click on back to site, it will never, because person2 can access only sales IT and nothing else, which means just copy this URL, copy it and go to this. Enter. Now can you see under the whole corp IT collection, he will be able to access only sales IT and he can see only one tab in here. Even he is not, even if you go to corp IT collection again, it will hit you, right? It won't allow you, which means again go anywhere, it won't. So that's why you have to keep this URL, which is here, right click and paste. He have got access only to site IT and default. You can see only this, right? Understood now? So in the same way, let us say you have sales IT, you have some more sites. So each and every site you can restrict people with that, right? So that's how we create sites actually, right? We just created these sites in order to understand the content parts. So now we have created something called separate site, where we have seen something called unique permission. So whatever you change here will be changed over there. Now let me give some permissions to person1 again. So he have got permission in site IT, which is site permissions, and we gave something called visitor, right? He is a person which is visitor. Now let us check one thing, let us play around with this once. Let me go to corp IT collection and let me give site permission in this level. Let me give as a member here, the same guy. Let me give as a member, which is person2, right, and click on OK. Now let us see what happens now. So person2 is also a member of corp IT collection. Let's go back here and see what happens. So let's go back and click on corp IT collection. Now see, he is able to access both sales IT and corp IT collection, and under corp IT collection as all the sites are inherited from parent, so that's why he is able to access each and every part of the page. Fine. So that is nothing but your so how you actually give permission to them. Now in the same way as we are at this screen, let's go back again to corp IT collection, right? Go to sales IT, which means I don't want the person to be a member of this. Let's see what happens. Site permissions, go to visitors, right? And let me remove this actions, remove from the user. Okay, now let me refresh this page. Now you can see sales IT. When you go to corp IT collection, see it misses because we don't have each and every component is on click on anything, it will check each and everything, and whatever is possible things can be shown, only that will show. Again, just go back and retain him, which is person 2, right? And say okay, right? And just refresh it this page. Just click on this, you can see it. You can go to. So this is how we play actually, right? And if you don't want him again to access everything, let us see what happens again. Let me go back to corp IT collection, right? And let's go back to site actions and site permissions, right? Go to, we have added him under members, right? Or don't worry, if you don't remember, it doesn't matter at all. If you want to see where person 2 is, just go here, check permissions, click on person 2. Now see what happens here. Can you see this? He'll be able to, we'll be able to see person only in corp IT member, because we are accessing something called users under corp IT collection and not site 1. So that's why we will not be able to see as person 2 is a member of your some other site, right? So now he is a contributor under collection members. So now close this up, close, and let me check whether what happens when we go to sales IT. Let's go to sales IT here, right? And let us check the access of the users, site permissions. Click on check permissions and give something called person 2 again, and check now. So you will be getting only under sales IT. You will not be getting complete site, right? So now what we were about to do is we were about to delete corp IT collection access to person 2. Let us do that. Go back to corp IT collection, right? Go to site actions, permissions, right? Go to user permissions. Sorry, we don't need this because we already know that the user is under members. And select on the person and actions, remove user. Okay. Right? Now go back to this side again. So which is here I was admin, and I will go to Chrome, which is person 2. Let me click on something, just click on this. See, everything got disappeared because he will have only access to something called sales IT. He will never be able to do anything on that. So he should be able to do, he have got access only to the one URL, which is sales IT. That's it, nothing else. Fine. So this is how we actually work with user permissions and all. Again, oops, is there any problem with this? Copy. I just did something called copy here, go to Chrome, click and paste here. Yeah, anyways, we got this page, right? So he'll be able to access only one site, which is sales IT, right? So this is the complete administration or development, I can say, how we actually play around with security and all things. And anyways, this is one of the very important modules as compared to contents, data, web parts and all. So we have some time. You guys have any doubts across user permissions and all? This is all about your permissions which you have anyways, right? So if you have any doubts, let us clear it itself, so that you can just work on, or if everything is fine, let us wind up here. okay, so that I'll give you the video, just try out this here. Anyways, uh, yeah, how did you create the sales IT? Okay, so how we created is, so I went to site. So now let us create one more site. I went to site actions, right, and I created something called new site, right. So under new site I created something called, you can select anything, not a problem. Again anything in the sense, it is same as blank site, but only thing is each and everything will give you some default. When you select a team site, let me select team site or document workspace, right. Let us say it's doc IT, some site, right, doc IT, and let me give the same name as doc IT here, right, doc IT, and you have to go to more options. So under more options you have something called permissions tab here, right. So let me give you some description. This is for doc maintenance, something, right. And under permissions you have two options, which is use unique permissions. Like whenever you say unique permission, which means there will be separate permission level for your doc IT, and you can also say that use same permissions as parent site, which means the whole corp IT permissions will be inherited to this site. I don't want that. Click on use, right, and just go down, click on, yeah, I want a quick launch, and I want this top link is nothing but your top link menu bar here. Just say yes and create, right. So which means your site will be created with fine, your site will be created here, and immediately it will go back to the permission level. If you say use an existing group, again it will inherit your corp IT collection, all the groups whatever you have here. But why we do unique is, for creating a new one, right. Let's create a new group. When you create a new group, three default groups will be created, which is nothing but a visitor, a member, and a owner, right. So just click on OK. Now your site will have unique permissions which are separated from your corp IT collection. Now in doc IT, see here, this is separate type of we have created document type site, right, which is, see, automatically you will get something called shared documents. Again, this is again a list, right, this is again a list, right, everything. This is again a separate group, add new user, list, again a separate links list, everything is, so they'll just arrange some things for you to use it directly, fine. So now for this doc IT, if you go back to actions and say permissions, you can see that there are separate permissions being created, right. And the same way, if you go here and so we are logged in with person 2, right. So let me just go and say some other guy called Sam, and Sam here, oops, you don't have access. Okay, you don't have access in the sales IT. Anyways, let me give some complete site. Now can you see here, even this guy won't be able to see your this doc IT, because no one, Sam is not a person, Sam is not a user of this. Now let us go back here and just say in or any of them, let's give one user here, new Sam, right, and just say OK. We gave permission for doc IT. Let's go back to this page and say, and just click on refresh, you can see doc IT. So Sam now can go to doc IT and can work on it. So now what is announcements here? So I hope you can see announcement, right. Announcement is again nothing, so it is again a list again, which is you can add an announcement. So adding an announcement is again the same as like your feeding. Announcement is again like in a Facebook feed you have, right. You will start a topic, like so you can see here, you will write some title, we are going to start a new, right, Java batch, right. Just say, again you can just say this, right, and just say from 20th April. Just say this, right? And expires. So when do you want to get this announcement out? Everything is configurable. Don't have to worry about, right? So again, this is the type of list 18 and save. If you save this, you can see here, right? Your own feed got. We are going to start. And again, if you want to see how to add this again from here, let us go back to the admin here. We'll just see how to create. Let us go back to batch maintenance, or yeah, okay. In here, let me go back to more options, right? Here you can see something called under more options. Yeah, can you see here? So let me go back to lists one. So under list you can see announcements. There is nothing but announcements. Just say announce IT something, something. Okay. So all the things are, again lists again. So which are different. So here you can see here add announcement, modify, right? So this is nothing but the same. So what we have done is we are creating announcement at some point here, and if you want to add this announcement to this, again what you have to do, we have to do something called edit page, add web part, right? I want to add announcement here. Let us say add web part, right? And I'll say yes. Under web I have doing something called announcement data. Click on that. Right? It will be added here. Now you can see here. Let's go back and say stop editing. Let's go back to page here. Let's go back to browser maintenance. Now you can see a clean announcement here. Again, click on new announcement and just say same thing, batch. We are going to this and something like this, right? And again, right? This and just save, right? Your announcement will be added, right? So this is nothing but your announcement. So that's what he can. If you just add it, no, everyone will be able to see. Let's go back here. So we added something called announcement here, which is again nothing but a data we have added. Which where if you add something in data in here, we have added something called under batch maintenance. We have added something called announce IT, right? Let's go back to SAM and see batch maintenance. See, you can see the announcement. Fine. So these are we actually create. Let us create one more announcement here and see what happens. New to something and just say some Sharepoint, right, and just say save and just give some expiry date. So at that, the announcement will be there till this date, and from that point on it will be right. There is a new to here. You can see here new to, right? Let's go back here to Chrome and here just click on refreshes, right? It will be so that is a better list. Again, this is a type of list again, right? Again, which where I can go here, right? I can go to announcement, I can add, I can go to list again, right? See, I can have anything. Let's go back to this one, announce IT, right? Go back to list again. See, you can do whatever we were able to do, but only thing is they have provided different templates for adding different things, right? So now we were, so that is nothing but announcement. So that's why. So again, if you add some page like different template page, it will take some more components and add it in your page. That's it, right? So that's how we created a page, and that's how we gave access to SAM across the IT. So admin can see everything, which is everything, and sales ID can be seen only by person 2 and doc ID by only by SAM, which is nothing but go back here, corporate collection, right? You can see this, right? If you don't want SAM, if you want only SAM only to see doc ID and not any other, again the same thing, which means what from wherever you want to block him, you have to go to that site, go to site actions, site permissions, right? So before checking, just check where that person is, SAM, click on that and check now. So this guy is under contribute no delete managers, right? So let's go back here to managers, right, and delete from here. So that's how your check permission is very important, because each and every time you will be going to check that check permission and you will be going back to that, right? Let's go back here and let's see what happens. Let me just create on doc IT, click on that, see, everything will go on and you can see only your current page. Fine. Any more doubts, Trupti here? You have any doubts again? So again, anyways, doc IT, you can just yeah, fine. So I hope you guys have understood something on yeah, cool. Something called user permissions and all. Yeah, Mohammed. Okay, fine. So Lakshmi, Mohammed, you guys have any more doubts on user permissions and all?
No, we're good.
Yeah, actually,
Sorry, Lakshmi, you were
if
saying
a
something?
person
Yeah.
is in corp IT, do we need to give permissions from doc IT also, or
I
only in corp
am
IT?
not able to hear. Can you just take your mic near to you? So I'm not able to hear
Are
you.
you able to hear me
No, it's
now?
very low. One second. I think no. I'm fully. No. Okay, you can go on. What is that? Yeah, Lakshmi, please go on.
Yeah, I'm asking you that if a user has a permission from corp IT, then he can access all the sites, or do we need to go and give again in the site also permission?
Uh, if a person, one sec. Let me just switch on to other headset. Yeah. Can you ask now?
Sam has permissions in corp IT.
Uh huh.
So
Sam.
he can use all the sites.
Yeah. If you are giving permission to corp, I mean complete collection of sites, which means he'll
Okay.
be able to access each and every site. Because see, let
Okay.
us
Even
say,
the doc IT.
yep. Go on.
Okay.
Yeah, please go on. In the doc IT, you were asking something.
I- I'm asking even he can use doc IT, corp IT.
Yeah, because Sam is there in both doc IT and corp IT collection, right? So that's why he will be able to use them. But see, when
No, if
yeah,
okay, if
okay,
we delete from doc IT and just give permission from corp IT,
uh huh.
so can he use all the sites?
No, he won't be able to use these two, right? Because these two are unique. Unique. Let's go and do that. Let's go and do that, right?
Okay.
Doc IT. You what you said is you want to remove someone called Sam here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's check where we added him. Let's go and check permissions of Sam. So he is under okay, doc IT members. Okay, let's go to doc IT members, right, and remove Sam here. Remove user. Now Sam is not in doc IT, right? And I hope even he is not in corp IT collection. I hope. Let's go back to corp IT collection, right? And just say permissions, site permissions, and let's check whether this guy is there. Sam, check now. No, right? He is not there in any of
Yeah.
these, right? Let's go back and check what happens. See, he'll be thrown out. Now, let's see what happens when we actually give permission to this guy as a visitor. We are giving permission as a corporate collection, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
under corporate collection we have so many. So where we have created two unique sites, which is site sales IT and doc IT. Let us see what else he can be able to access. Let me give Sam. Okay, right? We got added, and now let's go back to this and let me just access the same URL again. Right, right. And so now can you see both the sites are not there,
Yeah.
right? Sales IT is not there, but all these sites are nothing but they are using the parent site's authentication, which is, let me show you. Let us go to something called batch maintenance, right? Under batch maintenance, if you see something called site actions and site permissions, it will be same corp IT collection, right?
Okay.
But in the same way, if you go to something called sales IT, this is something which we have created unique, right? Site permissions,
Okay.
and this is something unique.
Yeah.
Now, let us say he won't be able to see something called sales IT and doc IT, right? Let's do one thing. Under sales IT, let me give permission to this guy. Under something called sales IT, new, right? Sam, and okay here, right? It got added. Now let's go and see. So initially there was no doc IT, I mean sales IT, right? Let's refresh this.
Yeah.
Now can you see,
Yes.
right? So
Okay.
now if you
So in
can,
this, if you are,
yeah,
yeah, if you are giving unique permissions, you need to change in the permission in this in that website also.
exactly. If there is a unique permission, you will never be able to do it from collection. You have to go to that
Yeah.
site and change.
And that site. Okay. Both sides.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
have to change in the both sides.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my doubt.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Mm.
So any other doubt, Trupti, Mohammed?
No.
Okay, fine then. Let's wind up here. And so, how about tomorrow? I was wondering. So, main call is from I think Mohammed. Don't laugh, man. You know. Yeah.
um, I don't know. I just prefer weekend. Like you can do stuff and you can.
I'm sorry,
Um,
I didn't get that. Weekend? You want off during weekend? You said, right?
I mean, it would be preferable. Like you can go out and you can take a break on the weekend. That would be better. But I mean, um, I don't know about Wednesday.
Okay. So,
Yeah. Only for this Wednesday I'm asking.
okay, Mohammed. Actually,
From next week.
this is not every Wednesday. This is only today. Only tomorrow. Only one Wednesday this week.
Okay, that should be okay then.
Yeah, because from next
Yeah.
week onwards we'll take off only during weekends, right? Not a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that works. I'm
Sorry.
fine with that.
Sorry, Trupti.
Yeah, that's fine. Tomorrow is okay, and then from next week we can do weekends or whatever
Yeah,
everybody
yeah, sure.
agrees to.
Sure, not a problem.
Yeah.
Because
Only for tomorrow.
yeah, because anyways, I think now we are on actual track anyways, because 2 weeks or 3 weeks back when me and Muhammad were there, it was going so slow. So now,
Right.
yeah, because I'm making Muhammad suffer, because of my health reasons and something. But now we are in track. Muhammad, I hope everything is going fine. You are able to understand some things now, right? we are
Yeah.
just Yeah, we are just moving into some actual SharePoint learning, right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So and anyways, in future classes we'll be learning more exciting things like wikis, blogs, feeds and all. You'll be enjoying those topics anyways, right? And we'll
Okay.
we'll
Right.
touch yeah, we'll touch upon administration again at the last of our course, right?
Okay.
I just opened the course contents
Yeah.
and is it Moss thing? What's that? We have to open
Uh, oh, one sec. Sorry, what is that?
that? Moss M.
Acha, MOSS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you covered that or
Yeah. No. We are covering. See, MOSS is nothing but Microsoft Office SharePoint Server. That's it. It is MOS is
Okay.
nothing but Microsoft Office SharePoint Server, which means your SharePoint server is completely tightly coupled with your Office. So we have seen something called in Info Institute, right? Maybe the terms are not. So whenever we open document library, what we did here, we are directly uploading something called presentation, which is we are uploading this into MOS, which is
Oh,
Microsoft Office SharePoint Server. We also call SharePoint Server as MOS, which is Microsoft Office SharePoint Server, where you will be able to, if you just say click on this like edit, which means we are actually touching Microsoft Office library, right? Which is
mm.
nothing but tightly coupled. Anyways, I'm touching each and every topic in our you know course content and more than that, anyways, because there are some few limited topics being mentioned over there, but I'm covering more in real time,
All
not
right.
into something like topics, right? I'm covering more in like real time things, whatever you'll be doing. Fine.
Sounds good.
So that is nothing but your MOSS, which is Microsoft's Office SharePoint Server.
Right.
right? So you can just now check on the videos now, which is on user security and web parts. And today and tomorrow, if Trupti and Mohammed, if you want, because I think Lakshmi will be out for tomorrow. If you guys want, you can just try out on Visual Studio. If you have any doubts, we can just clear those things on Thursday's class maybe. If
Okay.
possible, just try it out, okay? And we'll check out
Okay.
later. Fine then. So
Okay.
let's wind up here, and I hope we'll be meeting again on Thursday. Fine.
Yeah. Thursday
Okay.
same time.
Okay then.
Thank you.
Mohammed, Lakshmi, and Trupti. I'll see you then.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Fine.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.
Hello.
Okay, I have just one question.
Yeah. 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 Mohammed. Yeah.
I actually used, before today's class, I was working on the video studio, that video studio, and I did the class that we worked on a
Uh,
few days ago.
okay.
I was wondering what else should I learn about .NET and C Sharp? Like, how could I learn more or get more?
Okay. It's like if you can have a quick review on .NET, it will be more good. I hope, Mohammed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because I assume like there would be like just wanted to get
Can we
some.
do can we do one thing, Mohammed? Can I was just planning for you, like one sec. Someone is. Can you share me? Okay. So what I was thinking is once the SharePoint is completely done, right?
Yeah.
So we both will sit for some days, right? I mean, let the complete SharePoint is done. We'll just take up some 2 weeks of a crash course on .NET, like not apart from our own interest. I mean, you don't have to inform Rohit, right? We'll just take up 2 weeks of, and in 2 weeks I'll give you the overview of .NET, complete C Sharp .NET,
That would be great.
right? It's out of, like, we'll take up some parts, and so that I can explain you the main parts of how Visual Studio is being used, and what are the OOPS concepts. I'll explain you complete OOPS, because that is the one thing. If you know OOPS, I hope you can do some programming in your .NET,
Yeah, right, right.
right? So I think I've already, we have discussed this in our starting class, but I haven't forgot that, because once the SharePoint class is done, we'll just sit for 1 or 2 weeks, right? And I'll give you complete overview on C Sharp .NET, like where if you don't have to go into the topics. Because if you have programming knowledge, that will be anyways fine, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.